Oh, hello. How are we today? I haven't asked how you guys are in a while. Tell me what you guys been up to. What is going on? And what are the things that are interesting that have been happening with you over the past couple of days, weeks, months? A lot to explore, man. Some stuff happening with me. I don't know if it's a lot of feelings or just me understanding the feelings that have always been there. For now, let's stick to today's video. Today's script is we are an extension of life. We're an environment we create, pivots the conscious evolution of it. And here I write a small kind of like note, which is material environment versus conscious environment. In case you don't believe me, I actually write this graph. We are the extension of life, where the environment we create pivots the conscious evolution. I really am not sure if you guys watch any of my videos or just randomly jump. But a big turning point, I think, video 300 is a story when I was coming back from the south. Friend, my dad's friend's father died. So he was like, I'm gonna go and pay my respects. And I was like, I'll come with you. Hanging out with the dad, man, was fun back then. Because both of us got to say, like, I got to kind of like connect on everything. And the one thing that initiated our connection was the fact that we all kind of like laughed at how my mom was. When my mom started getting jealous of that, or whatever pissed her off about me having a relationship with him, she started becoming a lot more aggressive with both of us, which eventually broke my relationship with her and kind of like created a rift between me and him. But one of the conversations that I had that was intense was he was discussing life. And I was like, where are you? What's your position when it comes to life? And he goes, like, we are alive. And that's basically like, and he was referring to consciousness as why we're alive. And I basically say, I disagree. If you take me, I exist because of you. So, and I think that's the fatherly slash motherly, like a parental thing where they kind of like look at the children as an extension of themselves. So, and I want you to think about that kind of like psychology behind it. Because effectively they're the extension of their parents. And let's go back all the way to the first kind of like evolution of the humanoid, whatever we are. And then where that started from a mammalian perspective. And as well take it a step further. And if I'm not mistaken, the first humanoid or mammal was well basically like started kind of like started showing itself on this planet like 150 years ago. That's where we evolved, we split from like actual like insects, something like this. I don't know. Like, at one point of our evolution, that's when we started becoming evolving towards the humans that we are right now. But 650 years ago, that's when we split from mycelium, because our essence basically is our brain is basically a, a big mycelium, and our body is basically the mushroom that the mycelium kind of like creates to protect itself. But the more you dive into like how mushrooms kind of like exist, and the mushroom, remember, is the flower of the organism, which is basically connected everywhere. The more you kind of like find those things that are in common between us. And then basically mycelium, years back, at one point we couldn't absorb oxygen. because oxygen technically is poison. And effectively, our only use of oxygen is to clear the carbon in our system from our system. And the reason we are able to do that is because of the mitochondria, which is basically the powerhouse of the cell. But the mitochondria itself is basically a different genetic makeup DNA than human DNA. So at one point, two different things kind of like found two different, yeah, it's like the cell basically found its counterpart, and they found a way to harmonize in order to start processing oxygen and then evolve and then become more and more and more. And the more back you go, you kind of like the reason life started in this on this planet is because water, like a big ice kind of like meteor, hit this planet and allowed for the whole thing to kind of like evolve, I guess, or start evolving. So when he said we are alive, I said no, we are an extension of life. Fundamentally, even though we find ourselves separate because we can walk around and do stuff, we are what people call Gaia, I guess. That's what I call consciousness. That's just like the way the nature of how everything is. We are a part of that nature. We're nature experiencing itself. We're the universe experiencing itself. This life experiencing itself through a different lens. We're basically like that one, right? Like that one thing that whatever we call time kind of like splits and evolves and kind of like just like extends. Extends is the best word to kind of use. Any way you look at it, extends is the best word. And so that kind of like connection is just like all over the place, everywhere. Oddly enough, it doesn't matter what happens, it always finds its balance. And so we are, according that conversation kind of like was like a big stepping stone because we handled 2 points. One is the future has already happened. Because any way we look at time, like who says 2,000 years from now we will not be re-entering the Stone Age? Something fucked up might happen. We could fuck ourselves over, man. Nuclear bombs left and right, and then basically we come back to it. And because we lost the ability to do a whole lot of stuff, then we kind of like evolve, and like something will go down, or one sickness will kill us, will kill the people that survived, or whatever, right? Like, you know, who is to say that we haven't been going into that cycle and out of that cycle over a couple 100,000 years? Who says, right? Because the closest human being for us that has been found is over 150,000 years old. And over the course, and aluminum, which is like the strongest metal, would literally like dissolve within like I guess 200-300 years. So over a period of 1,000 years, a fuck ton of shit could just like exist and no longer exist. And so we are the extension of this life. That's the second point that we kind of like cemented in our conversation, or me in my rant. But there's a key to it, where the environment we create pivots the conscious evolution of it. Because we are the creators, right? And with every single thing you do, you are also either actively or passively involved in whatever your the environment around you. So you're either actively creating that environment or passively being a part of it. And if you're passively being a part of it, your consciousness is influenced by the environment directly, but without your kind of like intention. But if you're actively being a part of it, then you also are have the environment basically impressing on you. It's a different word because you're coming from intention. So you're actually observant, you're actually aware, you're actually like, let's just say awake, like being able to see what's happening instead of dormant. And so the natural environment versus the conscious environment are very much like your reality and how you're expressing it, which translates to the environment. And the natural environment, because like once something is out there, a lot more people are involved in it, a lot more things are involved with it, or a lot more creatures are involved in it, and that also like impresses on you. So I put here verses, but maybe the idea is like the evolution of life is the natural course, and it's going to create an environment with or without your intention. But the conscious environment is actually created with your intention. Because if you're not intentional, then you're just kind of like an added limb, right? It's just like if you lose a finger, or if one of your fingers is not working, you can still do what you do. And I feel like every one of us as human beings, we're kind of like the individuals, but we choose our position on the hierarchy of life. We either get to be like very intentional what we do, and we contribute to the grand consciousness, and we contribute to the thing that we're actually moving forward towards and to its evolution, or we're just part of its evolution, whether we like it or not. It's a video, man. I love you guys.